late November of 1942, the Red Army had completed Operation Uranus, encircling 300,000 Axis personnel in and around the city of Stalingrad. The idea of an air bridge, which would provide a constant connection to the army, seemed promising for the German High Command, who had no idea about the real picture in the Stalingrad pocket. At a meeting shortly after the Soviet encirclement, Hitler met with the head of the Luftwaffe, so the German Air Force, Hermann Göring. When asked, Göring replied that the Luftwaffe could supply the Sixth Army with an air bridge. This would allow the German forces in the city to fight on temporarily while a relief force was assembled. A similar plan had been used few months earlier at the Demyansk pocket to supply the troops, although on a much smaller scale, a corps rather than an entire army was supplied. General Wolfram von Richthofen, commander of the Luftflotte, so Air Fleet 4, tried to get this decision overturned. The forces under the Sixth Army were almost twice as large as a regular German army. Due to a limited number of available aircraft and having only one available airfield in Stalingrad at Pitomnik, the Luftwaffe could only deliver 100 tons of supplies per day, only a fraction of the minimum 750 tons that was estimated to the Sixth Army needed. To supplement the limited number of Junkers Ju-52 transports, the Germans pressed other aircraft into the role, such as bombers like the Heinkel 111. General Richthofen informed the German High Command late November of the small transport capacity of the Luftwaffe and the impossibility of supplying even 300 tons a day by air, but he didn't succeed and the air bridge started. Supplying the 300,000 men trapped would mean 350 Ju-52 flights a day into Pitomnik. At a minimum, 500 tons were required, but not one single day have the minimal essential number of tons of supplies been flown in. The Luftwaffe was able to deliver an average of 85 tons of supplies per day. The most successful day was the 19th of December, when the Luftwaffe delivered 262 tons of supplies in 154 flights. In the early days of the operation, fuel was shipped at a higher priority than food and ammunition because of a belief that there would be a breakout from the city. Transport aircraft also evacuated technical specialists and sick or wounded personnel. Sources differ on a number flown out, at least 25,000 to at most 35,000. In spite of the failure of the German offensive to reach the Sixth Army, the air supply operation continued under even more difficult circumstances. But the Sixth Army slowly starved. And now let's see some statistical data. During the 72 days and nights between the 24th of November 1942 and 3rd of February 1943, the Luftwaffe had carried or dropped to the encircled troops an average of 117 tons of rations, fuel and ammunition a day. 160 aircraft were destroyed and 328 were heavily damaged beyond repair. The Heinkel 111 bomber groups lost 165 aircraft in transport operations. The Luftwaffe also lost close to 1,000 highly experienced crew personnel. Some 35,000 were eventually sent on transport, of which 17,000 did not survive. And let's see the situation in Stalingrad. Out of the nearly 91,000 German prisoners captured in the city, only about 5,000 returned to Germany after the war. Weakened by disease, starvation, and lack of medical care during the encirclement, they were sent on foot marches to prisoner camps and later to labor camps all over the Soviet Union. Some were kept in the city to help rebuild it.